back, everybody, to the JR Wisdom channel. I want to thank you all for tuning back in, new and old subscribers, and for those of you who just tuned in, make sure y'all click the bell to receive all notifications for all my videos, and hopefully y'all find something that you like. This evening I'm going to be, I said this evening, it's morning time. I'm so used to doing videos in the evening, but we were up early this morning, and just thinking about this topic because I've been wanting to discuss it in light of recent events, and just talk about this perpetual cycle that I see, and it's in the media and the way it's glorified and things of that nature. And that is the parts that's being played, which is the dope boy, or glorified drug dealer as they like to call them, the baby mama, and the kids who are the product of this relationship, and who all formulate this whole cycle, this perpetuating hood cycle of destruction, as I've titled this video. So hopefully this video stays up. And I just want to talk about this really by me thinking about it, examining where this whole issue came about and how it's still going on even to this day, regardless of the fact of the drug game or the dope dealer being a dead end. There's no longevity in it. It's the allure of it is something that obviously is glorified in music, movies, social media. All the music you hear now that's basically hits is glorifying the drug dealer. Basically, women love them, dudes want to be like them, and kids want to grow up to be like them as well. You know, stuff like that. So I really want to touch on, start off by saying what did this actually start at? This whole allure for, these drugs that are manufactured, which basically some chemists came about with a lot of these synthetic drugs that are manufactured and was given to people to reproduce, in urban areas and communities in order to distribute throughout to the masses in America as well, and even suburban communities also, which tend to not get in the same trouble or face the same ramifications and effects as those who actually deal these drugs, as opposed to the FDA and all these people who make billions of dollars pumping out these drugs legally, as opposed to the street ones. So, I mean, we can talk about, the 50s, and where a lot of it, it being heroin and, slowly cocaine coming about, heavily in the late 50s, early 60s, marijuana, which, is, it's still an illegal drug in the United States, for the most part. Besides, the few states that are recreational and medicinal. But we're just talking about from a dope boy standpoint. From the 50s, we went into the 60s, the 70s. We're getting to the point of the workforce and less jobs being taken away in urban areas, factories being closed down, to where men are forced into finding alternate ways of generating income for themselves and their families. And it was introduced in this area, and there's different I don't want to say conspiracies, because there's conspiracy theory and conspiracy fact, and there's things where people would say coincidence. You have coincidence theorists as well also. But you have a scaling up of men and women when this cocaine became very popular and started coming in mid 70s on into the 80s. Escobar, Iran-Contra, Ronald Reagan, all these things going on. So the drug dealer at this point, 70s and the 80s, became almost became popular. You know, you got movies like Paid in Full, Scarface, New Jack City, things like that, showing these men, depicting these men in ways that they're like ladies' men. Guys want to be like them. They're like hood celebrities, so to speak. And basically local celebrities in the urban community. And these men tend to have plenty of women. And while along with having plenty of women comes kids. Women getting pregnant and these guys having wives also, and multiple women having children by these guys. So the dope boy in his essence is he's flashy, he's confident, you know, he's perceived to have plenty of money. And based upon the allure and the way he carries himself, he just attracts these women. So these women end up, you know, and may see it, whether it be a one-time thing, or they just want to be known as someone who's taken care of by a dope boy, or who has a somewhat secure lifestyle. But many of them fail to realize at the time, until they get older, that the shelf life of these guys isn't that long. But any dope dealer that'll tell you, unless he's got a direct connection with the CIA, DEA, you know, ATF, whatever, there's no longevity in it. You're going to get caught eventually. But when you're young, and a lot of times these women are young who are dealing with these guys, they're living in the moment. They're not thinking about the future. They're not thinking about, even if they have kids by these guys, they're not thinking about the future. You know, they're fine as long as they can show off the vanity aspect of it. Nice clothes, nice jewelry. The kids are dressed nice with jewelry. Maybe have a nice secondhand luxury car, or a used luxury car to drive around in. But like I said, it doesn't hit that the shelf life of this guy can be taken, whether it be jail or murdered, just like that, you know. And there's really no legacy behind besides memories. And children or the woman can't eat or survive off memories. It's not a form of sustenance for them, you know. So this happens, and there was obviously mass incarceration, late 80s, early 90s. And it's even up to now over, you know, just a little vial of a narcotic, or a few ounces or a pound or so of a leaf and other pills and things of that nature. You got people doing some serious time. A lot of times more so life sentences, and more so for more time than murder, even for conspiracy. You know, and for those of you who don't know what conspiracy is, they can hit you with, they came up with this charge where they can hit you with you having to do time just based upon the fact of you and another person talking about selling drugs or doing a crime, or even asking someone to be a mule or move your stuff. So where I move into that is basically, are these women who are the baby mamas of these drug dealers, are they complicit in the acts of these drug dealers? Should they be held accountable for these things? Should they be considered co-defendants, not so much in court, but in the streets, or as far as this cycle of destruction? Are they complicit in it by being the baby mother of the drug dealer? When I say baby mother, I mean full in. Basically, you're using the drugs. You're allowing this person, this dope boy, to use the drugs around you, around your family. You allow him to sell out of your house. You allow him to distribute out of your location, out of your car. You help him, you know, move the drugs. Your kids grow up in this drug culture. They're raised and they see the dope boy who's the father, or who may be, the mother's boyfriend, making this money, and they see that as a way of making fast money as opposed to, being educated and being their own entrepreneur, so to speak. They see that as the way to go because their mother is enabling it and allowing it to happen. And this is pretty common. The baby mother, she gets the money from the guy. She spends the drug money, and she spends it with no qualms, spends it on herself, her kids, the family, buys all these things that I mentioned earlier, does all these things with the money, even helps him re-up, whatever have you, and even sells on his behalf, as I said, will make sales while he's out of town or while he's away. She may even be dealing with more than one. When she has one drug dealer or one baby daddy that's a drug dealer, she may deal with more than one. And she'll have multiple kids by drug dealers because that's just what she becoming accustomed to. She edifies this guy, these men, and places them on a pedestal. And not really thinking, not really planning for the future for herself or the child. What's the long-term goal in all of this? What is the long-term goal? And as I said, the guy can be gunned down, no life insurance. What do you do then? Then it's basically R.I.P. as O'Shea would say, R.I.P. Pookie and Ray Ray and everybody else. Then we go on to that, even though you glorified the man all this time. I had a woman comment on one of my videos about femininity, and she said that women are forced to be masculine. And women are put in a position to be masculine. I respond back as, whose fault is this? A woman chooses who she wants to be with, so as far as you being forced into being masculine, I mean, whose fault is that? And there's always pushing it off onto something else. And if you're watching this video, that's what I'm asking. Whose fault is it that you're forced into being masculine? Is it society's fault that you're forced to do that, or is it just you choosing the proper mate? Then as you get older and you see that there's no backup plan, then you want that same square that was trying to talk to you when you were younger or during your best years, as you like to put it, who has resources at this point. You want him to bail you out and take care of you and your child. He tried to court you and get your attention, but you didn't want to have anything to do with him because you thought he was a square. And next D-boy, you might have to resort back to those. So we have this cycle where we put these guys on a pedestal, we edify them, we're bystanders, basically bystanders to the drug culture. And then at the end of the day, you want to rinse your hands of everything and say that you don't know why this is going on. That you're not a contributor to the fact, or basically you play no part in this entire cycle. Even acting as a drug mule, all the things you've done, transported and sold drugs on his behalf. Even if you have a man that's in jail, you're selling drugs by, sneaking in drugs to him or finding a way to get drugs to him so he can sell it in jail. You're still part of that. You hold him down and all that. So as far as the destruction of the community and the black community, the urban community, you are complicit in that. And you can't just, say that you have nothing to do with it and just wash your hands of it. You can't be dismissive and once again come to the point where you have no accountability in the situation when this is part of the cycle that goes on. You should be considered the co-defendant in all of this, in the destruction as far as the drugs go of the urban, black community. So basically, and what ends up happening with a lot of these women also, they end up getting locked up, following behind a dope boy. They have to end up doing time. The dope boy might end up snitching on them or implicating them. They'll end up doing time. And this leaves the children growing up with a relative or in foster care. And with no guidance, the child might fall into the same thing, and then the cycle goes on and on as far as, pumping dope, pumping crack. So I just want to make this video, get you guys' thoughts on it. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I just wanted to put this out here about the baby mother being complicit in the affairs of the destruction of the community and the dope boy and the perpetuation of the drug culture. So like, share, comment, and subscribe. Hit me on social media. Email me any topics you'd like me to discuss. Feel free. I'm going to be doing chat as soon as I hit 1,000. I'm accepting donations. Obviously, the links are all in the description. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. And just remember, anything lost can be found again except for time wasted. Peace.